your top 20? I don't really wanna. Maybe. You know what? Let's do it. We're just gonna have undecided list. We're gonna put the characters that like definitely could make it all in undecided, and then we'll try to order them. Okay, did I skip over any characters that like should be considered? Xianyun. I guess I can think about Xianyun, sure. Baiju, yeah, Baiju. Or he's not out yet, so no. Yai. Sure, I guess. No, I don't think so. Emily, maybe. Child, no. I think that this will be that. So, Venti, sure, we can talk about Venti. Okay, I think I'm gonna take Xiao out because, and I'm gonna take Xianyun out, but I'm gonna leave Farazan in here. I think in the Xiao team, the best unit is either Farina or Farazan. And this is only C6, but like Farazan is actually just so strong. At C6. Yeah, she just does way too much. Are we assuming that all 4 start of C6? We will, yeah. Okay, so who is like 100% making it to the top of the list? This. Is this my top 3? Probably. Then the next group of 3 is probably these 3. Then the next group of 3 is probably these 3. Then the next group of 3 is probably these 3. Then the next group of 3 is probably these 3. Is that 15? Then the next group of 3 is probably Yelan should be higher. I don't really think so. I think double Hydro teams have gotten less prevalent, and double Hydro is most of the time one of Singtor Yelan plus Farina, not both. So I think the value of Yelan has gone down significantly. Everything but the top 3 is relatively interchangeable. I think the top 3 is also interchangeable. Like, Hoyo has been going out of their way to make carries that have their best teams not use Singto for a while now. Like, pretty much since Alhaitham came out, most of the carries that have been released after are, like, intentionally being designed to not work that well with Singto. And so I think it's completely reasonable to put Singto down now. I won't, but I think it's a reasonable take. The only character here that doesn't use Singto is Neuvillette. I mean, when you look at carries, there's not a lot of them, right? Like, in the 15 characters I've already placed, Neuvillette and Arlecchino are the only 2 characters that are, like, strictly carries. Like, yeah, sure, there's not a lot of carries that can't use Singto in here yet, but, like, that's because there's not a lot of carries at all. Anyways. I do think it's time for a carry. Navia, Nilo, Chevreuse. That's the next 3. We now have 18. I have to choose 2 characters from this list now. Ooh. It's not Hu Tao, it's not Kogami, it's not Venti, it's not Emilie, it's not Kenichi, it's not Clorinde, it's not Lenny. It would be 2 of these 4. Part of me really wants to put Farazan up there, because, like, I think people don't realize how broken C6 Farazan is. Like, C6 Farazan is really fucking broken. It's only good for 2 characters. Yeah, that's her problem. I think I'll put Milani Alhaitham, but I'll make honorable mentions. For... Will she be good for Chaska? No, she won't. I'll make an honorable mentions category for characters that very easily could make other people's top 10 if they were to evaluate based on slightly different criteria. So, like, Farazan, Baiju, Lenny, Venti. I don't think any of these. Maybe there's some of the ones that I didn't, that like I really would never put in my top 20 that are in here that other people might consider. Chen Chao, maybe Child, Yai, I guess. Where is she? Sure. Is Into better in solo Hydro Hyperloom than Farina? I struggled with an all Archon team in current floor 12, but when I switched to Singto, I cleared it easily. Is it because of better Hydro application? Yeah. Singto will be triggering a lot more Hyper Blooms and be a lot more comfortable to play. But if you're playing a proper Quick Bloom team, so a team that can actually take advantage of the Quicken Aura quite well, Farina can be better. On full Archon team, yeah, Singto would be better than Farina, though. 0 cryo units anywhere? True. RIP cryo. These aren't ordered, by the way, the ones in honorable mentions. The ones that, like, the top 20 list is, like, vaguely ordered. Anyway, chat, should we talk about the Archon quest? I haven't talked about it yet. The Archon quest was... honestly... Act 3 was really disappointing. Act 3 was, like... just straight up... awful. Like, it was not fun, it was not good, it was... I don't have positive things to say about it. At all. It started out fine, but yeah, no, there was way too much yapping. Act 4 was fine, but I don't think it's the best. Like, I don't think it did that well, all things considered. I had seen very, like, positive things about it before, and I don't think I necessarily agree. I think, yeah, like, story-wise, Act 4 was kind of lacking.
Take a break after all that.
But for the first time in a long time, it felt like the Archon quest was an actual video game quest rather than a fucking TV show. Like, story-wise, I don't really have too much to say about Act 4. It was fine, but it wasn't, like, outstanding. But they actually, like, made a quest that had actual gameplay for the first time in a long time, which was nice. I liked that a lot. I'm still really disappointed by what they did with the conflict. Like, I thought the setup for the conflict was really good, but there was a potential for an interesting conflict between prioritizing culture at a higher risk versus sacrificing culture to mitigate that risk. But then they started adding some fucking bullshit to, like, that made it so that there was a clear answer. They effectively made it so that Capitano was just wrong outright, which I thought was really a really boring way to handle that conflict. Like, everything fell into place too neatly, and it made the conflict feel insignificant and unnecessary. And that saddens me. He was kind of right, but, like, the text heavily implies that Moika's right when she says that, like, one of the consequences of Capitano's plan is that people are just basically gonna get dementia. Like, they're gonna get lobotomized. They're gonna like develop cognitive issues, and like they're basically not gonna be able to function anymore. Because that's something that Moika brings up that's never refuted, and that the Traveler seems to believe. And, like, if that line wasn't there, the conflict would be more interesting. But, like, that line is there. And so, like, yeah, Capitano's just wrong. Real talk, I'd rather be dead than have dementia. Not fun at all, yeah. Like, I haven't experienced it myself, but I have been in close proximity to my dad in the final stages of his brain cancer. And, like, at some point, death comes as a blessing. Anyways, all of this to say, I think the conflict would have been a lot more interesting if they actually stuck to Capitano's initial motivations and didn't just, like, muddy the water with bullshit.